the pictures like how the base maps, you can have a different possibility from the base map from the OpenStreetMap, Yahoo Maps, or Google Maps and base map, and then your respective maps functionalities. You can add it, zoom in, zoom out, and all things together. So then I can thank you the president for attending the presentations. Then we will continue the further development. Please subscribe the channels and write down your comments and share your ideas. We try to best how to combine the ideas to get it proper or your best solution for these developments. Let's have a start the developments part of the applications. So this is our applications. You see the application structure. That's we will talk about detail. And this is our this one is the config file. Let's have it summarized. This is index.html file, and this is the most important files that we have. So we already talk about that one. And this is our HTML, the preview part. That's what we will talk about here. This part, the view part for different components of home, product, service, news, and about components. And this is our layers of the components. Let's have a start to the developments. So this is all the things together. So you see the definition of like we inject the latitude, longitude of the maps, and then you have a zoom level set up. And then there is the projection system set up and some different type of the properties or variable definition for the maps. So here is you see the GeoServer call, the standard GeoServer call with the HTTP client communications. But at the moment we didn't use the HTTP client communication. Later, maybe when our REST APIs or service is ready, then we'll call the HTTP clients and build get the data directly from the database and put the data into the maps. That's why the idea. At the next screencast, I will talk about a little bit more detail about that one. So we initialize the maps. So you see the initialize maps with some attribute like some central coordinate points and zoom level. We pass the central coordinate point and zoom level, and this one is already set to the here. Then you can pass the values of the central coordinate points and the zoom levels. And that's one of the questions coming from the many viewers and subscribers, the beginners. They're asking me what type of programming language they have to be learned, or they have to be at least to need to know, because this is, the TypeScript is a superset of the JavaScript language. So that means if you have the knowledge in JavaScript, and that is enough to program it. You are enough to learn it. And then this is, and TypeScript, that this is the TypeScript is look like it's object-oriented programming like Java or C# or any object type programming language. So you need to learn a little bit the TypeScript programming language, and then you can get the really proper idea. That means you can write really in Java based or C# based or object based programming with TypeScript. That's the idea, because TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. Then you can integrate and they call it, and then you can use it, those things. You have to learn the TypeScript part of that. But in this screencast, if you have a learning, you have a knowledge about your JavaScript knowledge and HTML, CSS knowledge, and that is enough to get it for this screencast or to start your development. So all things is already discussed, and you have the layers, and then we have the from tile maps, from the OpenStreetMaps, and for this case you can use so tile maps. You have map components, and you see that the maps is the target is maps here, and then you call the application.html files, and you just dip components maps, and that's all. Let's load everything that you need to communicate the maps. And we do some points, vector layers. I already discussed those things, and polyline layers, and then polygons layers, and the circle layers that you saw already, the rectangular layers, and the video layers that you have to static video layers. So that's I'm showing you the two video layer here. So this is the two videos layers, and then and then you have the SVG vector layers. You can SVG vector layers to edit, because this is all the programmatically generate the layers. But in later case, I will call the REST APIs to build this these vector layers. That's the idea to that's idea this application. But that's I said, this is the enterprise level applications, and you have to be really modularized and really flexible to use those components, and even though use all the technology stack into your enterprise applications, because that's why a lot of beginners, and it's hard to understand the pictures, but if you are professionals, then you get the really pictures what I mean, how it works. But in the beginner, I try to come up really basic level to the professional level. You can just follow the all of the screencast, all the theories and presentations, and you can also Google it and then get the proper idea and start the development. But I think it is the best starting points when you are to get it your GIS programming or GIS career in the professional life. This is the really professional way to do. So also you see the vector layers, you see that we add all the vector. That's the points I'm today. This is basic questions about this screencast, the continuation. So you see the layer groupings. That means you have defined all the layers that you need, and then you grouped those layers. So you have the as busy layers. That's how we said it here as busy layers. We defined as busy layer and call it as busy layer. Build here the necessary data. This is as busy definitions, layers, and then the as busy layers here. So you have the polygons layers. That means the polygon you created in previous sections, and then you have a circle layers. Then we have the polyline layers. Many more vector layers depending on the use cases. That's I mean. So maybe here the compilations. This is so it's automatically compile and refresh the applications. It is working properly. So that means you define all the layers, and then you group the layers. That means this is the grouping layers coming in the overlay. So you have the image layers. That's you have the image 1, image 2, or depending how many images you need. Maybe you use depending. That's I said it's depending on the use cases that you have it. Use case maybe you have a 10 or 15 the points positions. Then you need to be put in the image. Maybe here the image what is the plans, and then maybe image layers. You can go the image layers. Maybe you have construction plans for the bridge or your river constructions, or maybe culvert or road construction. Just you can put the specific location for this image, and then the civil engineers or planners can look for these plans in the web browser, and they can continue their very efficiently and quickly their works. What I mean, the layers. So that's why I said, and this is all the possibility I try to give it to you. How can you do this stuff? The image, movies, and different type of vector layers. Even though different type of the base layers that you need to do. And even though if you have the third party services like GeoServer service publication, and even though you can integrate those GeoServer service integration into your web application, web GIS applications. So this is the image layers. That's what we already added here. This is the central coordinate points, the set events. So image overlay, you see the image overlay. We have all the vector layers grouped together. The open layer groupings, and then this is tile maps. You can see the WMS tile maps, and then this is the GeoServer call. So WS tile map, GeoServer. This is the base UI. That's I said the base UI, and then you have the base UI set up here, the base UI call of the GeoServer, and then you can call the services from the GeoServer. And this is the information. Two services come from the GeoServer, from the road networks and the building information. That's I said here, the node networks and building informations. So where is the building network? So you see the buildings. I think so. That's somewhere you can see the buildings layers. It is properly tunnels. There's tons of informations. This is the data coming from, as I said, from the GeoFabric.